Welcome to the call. My name is Ed Pyle. I'm from the SCSA. If you're having any technical difficulties, please call 306-533-9872, and Sherry here will give you a hand. Just so you know, this meeting is recorded and will be posted online following the call. Starting right now, everybody's microphones are muted and will be open when we reach the question and answer section of the presentation. I will also monitor COM at scsaonline.ca for questions and the chat internal to the meeting itself. Right now, I'll just turn the meeting over to Ryan Smotra, Chair of Board of Directors of the SCSA, Manager of Graham Construction, and Chair of the Governance Committee and lead of this process.
Thanks, Ed. Hello, everyone. As Ed said, my name is Ryan Smotra. I've been the chair of the governance committee for the past couple of years here, where we've been going through the process of coming up with a proposal for changes to the bylaws and board structure. Before we get into this, I just want to pass along some appreciation and thank you for the work of the governance committee, which is Gunnar Passmore from the SAS Provincial Building and Construction Trades Council, Jason Davidson from PCL, Jeff Sweet from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 2038, Jason McLeod from Northridge Developments, Mark Novakoski from Flint, Canada, as well as pass along thanks to Dave Smith from Logiac Consulting. And also here with us as well in the meeting, Peter Wilson from McDougall Gawley, the law firm that's provided us legal counsel through the process. And of course, Colin Pooler, president of the SCSA, and as well as the association staff for the support, time, and energy they put into getting us this far in the process. So as Ed said, I'm going to go through the slideshow here and review the proposed changes to the bylaws, as well as the proposed changes to the board structure. All these proposed changes, and the reason why we're doing this is to ensure transparency to our members. All this will be reviewed and put to vote by the general membership at the Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association annual general meeting, which is going to be held on February 15th in Regina. So there's more information if you need any information on the annual general meeting, opportunity to vote, where it is, when it is. Consult the website at SCSA online, or call the SCSA and they'll be able to provide you the information. So to get started, as I said, we're going to go through the proposed bylaws and the board structure. The current board structure has been in place since the SCSA's inception in 1995. The current SCSA Board of Directors is comprised of 37 members, which was the original decision made on the board structure. Members are appointed through industry associations, trade representative groups, as well as the regional safety committees throughout the province, representing the different regions. The Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association hasn't had a general restructure of their board bylaws since inception, so this has been in place for over 20 years right now. Comparing the SCSA to other organizations of our size, we do have an unusually large complement of board positions compared to similar organizations, and so membership had directed, after review of this, from recommendations of the board, last annual general, or 2 years ago, the board or the membership gave us direction to review possibilities and options on improvements that can be made to both the board and the bylaws to help provide, a more efficient board. So we went through a process for a year of coming up with recommendations on what the governance committee felt would be a good structure, size, and some of the general direction the board should head. We put those proposals to vote to the general membership at the 2017 annual general meeting for the SCSA. The board or the membership approved the recommendations that we were making and gave us the direction to go ahead to redevelop a board structure, as well as reformulate the bylaws in accordance with, first of all, the current not-for-profit legislation, as well as the proposed board structure. So in the past year, the governance committee has gone through that. The structure and size of the SCSA has significantly changed since the original bylaws were created, and the Not-for-Profit Corporations Act has also changed since the inception of these bylaws. The major purpose for the change and for the restructure was the bylaws were struggling to effectively support the organization, as well as the board with the structure that it was made or set up was no longer effective for where the organization moved. The organization, when it originally started, was 5 to 6 people and a smaller group. Now we're at 2 offices with over 50 staff. So there's been some significant changes and significant budget differences since we originally began the association. The board was aware of the inadequacies of the bylaws and recognized the necessity for the update. And so again, the governance committee or the board of directors requested the governance committee review the structure and bylaws in 2016. And at the annual general meeting in 2017, we went ahead with full proposed changes. So the changes to the board or the structure, board seats will be decreased from a current 36 to 37 seats to 12, with a minimum of 9 board members required. Of the 12 seats, there'll be a balance between worker management representatives in accordance with our agreement with WCB. The seats will be comprised of industrial, commercial, and residential, and all those seats can be either represented by a worker or an employer rep. And with the smaller board, we will be eliminating the executive committee. With the elimination of the executive, there'll be an increased number of board meetings. The new positions on the board will change from the current system of appointment to nomination selection based on skills and requirements. Part of that change is the board wants to ensure that we do have transparency in selection. So the current system is appointment from a whole number of different industry associations, trade groups. Right now, what we'd be changed to with the nomination process is the entire industry and membership will be provided the opportunity to nominate. We'll ensure a transparent system of selection. The governance committee will select the 3 best candidates or the best candidates to put forward to the board based on skills and requirements of the board. So if the board needs particular expertise in accounting, legal, HR, to make sure that we have a well-rounded board, we're going to put those expectations forward, implement a process of selection, and allow the members to elect for the board positions. Nominations will be made to the board only by B-rate code companies. So the groups in the B-rate code will be able to put forward nominations. Board terms will change to a 3-year with a review and renewal after a 3-year term. Currently, there is no requirement for renewal or review. And the chair and vice chair positions will be a 2-year term. And the past chair position will be a 1-year term. So both the chair positions will now be a 2-year term, and past year will be a one-year term. This was to help support consistency and you know, eliminate the constant change. Before I continue, I'd like to make note, I forgot to add when I was listing off the members of the Governance Committee, Keith Bird from RNF Ventures, as well as support from Pearl McNevin Williams from Northridge Developments. I'm sorry I missed them on my list there. So thanks to them as well. The board seat composition, as I said, the composition of the seats will be as follows. There will be 2 representatives. Oops, sorry. Missed the page here. With the elimination of the executive, there will be an increase in the number of board meetings. So currently we have 3 board meetings per year, and that is based on board decision, will be increasing. Composition of the board, of the 12 seats will be as follows. There will be seats for 2 industrial from the industrial rate codes, 2 from commercial, 2 from residential, 2 seats will be from organized labor, 2 seats from general workforce, and 2 seats will be strategic board selected. These strategic board selected will be a shorter term seat. They will be selected by the board based on strategic planning from the board that made or designed to support strategic initiatives that the SCSA will be going to. This may be from purchasers of construction, educational groups, diversity groups, whatever the board feels part of our direction, or anything that we may require as a board for additional support from an outside source. The chair, vice chair, past chair positions will be made up of one of the, each of those seats will be made up from the existing 12 board chairs or board seats. So the board will remain 12 seats. The chairperson will be part of one of those 12 seats. Same with the vice chair and as well as the past chair. As you can see, to increase the reason why we've done this is to increase efficiency, communication. We want to ensure that it's easier to communicate, to come to conclusions in smaller groups, and leverage the use of technology. One of the things that's changed throughout the bylaws is we've included the use of being able to use technology for voting and selection conference calls, rather than having to have full board meetings, everybody in a room. We can now start having, initiate the use of technology. It provides everyone an opportunity to actively participate. Limiting the board size to 12 people provides a more trusted, close environment, allows for better communication, discussion, where directors are more inclined to actively participate throughout the meeting. It's less expensive to maintain a smaller board, and the reduced cost of meetings as far as travel reimbursements for the board members. It also increases the ability for them to be able to attend. From the board, there will be 3 required committees that will have to be in place at all times. This will be the audit committee. The oversight, their job will be the oversight of the annual external financial audit, reporting, and disclosure. The audit committee will be made up of board members, and they will be required to review the financials. The second committee will be the governance committee. They're tasked to review and oversight of all bylaws, provide recommendations to the board regarding nominations, and support due diligence functions as required. They will also be made up of board members. The third committee is the Board Advisory Committee. They are there to provide feedback, information, and guidance from the industry to the board. They will be made up of the regional committee representatives, board members that would like to join, as well as industry representatives. So this is the committee that we're going to hopefully provide information, feedback, expectations, support, or answer any questions that the board might see that they want to send out to industry. We want to keep ensuring that we have engagement from the regional safety committees, which are in place right now. All members that are voted on as part of the regional safety committee, chair, worker, and management chair on the committees automatically have a seat on the advisory committee, so they will be able to participate. One of the things that's happened in the past, where these positions have had seats on the board, there's been a lot of difficulty to be able to attend the board meetings just due to location, time, ability from their employer to be able to take a full day to attend a meeting. So with the advisory council, our goal is to provide an easier option for the regional safety committees, first of all, communicate directly to the board by having a board member on the advisory committee that has tasks required to bring that information to the board, provide easier ways for the regional safety committees to communicate directly to the board. So these will be typically held, the advisory committee meetings will typically be held at a location that you can attend in person or attend by conference call. So the intention of the advisory committee is to be able to open up the ability for the B-rate code members, the membership of the SCSA, to more easily communicate, advise on issues, and participate in the board decisions, recommendations, and the development of long-term work that the SCSA is going to be providing, the support the SCSA is going to be providing. And lastly, the board can also create any ad hoc committees as they deem necessary, which we've done in the past. Fall protection committee as an example, or as other requirements of the board may come up for review or expectation, the board does have the option to create any ad hoc committees as they feel necessary. Again, to do a quick review of the nomination process, nominations to the board will only be made by B-rate code members, and the members receive 1 vote per company. Members voting must be present. So those that are interested in, especially in this case, not just for the nominations of future state or future state board members, but also showing up to vote for the changes at the AGM. B-rate code members are allowed to vote, and you must be present to vote or attend. Yeah. That's a summary of the changes. As far as bylaws, changes to the bylaws, we did a full overhaul on them, went through legal and made sure that they were in accordance with the Canadian or the Saskatchewan Not-for-Profits Act. Copy of the bylaws, new bylaws are made available online. If you'd like to review them or have any questions, please feel free to have a look and submit any questions again to com@scsaonline.ca.
That's correct.
We'll now open it up to any questions that may have come up during the presentation. Share with any questions at all. We did not have any questions. If you do have any other questions, feel free to contact, as I said, scsaonline.ca, or call the SCSA directly. We want to make sure that if there's questions or concerns that they're addressed prior to the AGM. If not, appreciate everybody who called in. Again, I'd like to thank the governance committee that supported this: Gunnar Passmore, Jason Davidson, Jeff Sweet, Jason McLeod, Mark Novikowski, Keith Bird, Pearl McNevin-Williams, Dave Smith, Peter Wilson, Colin Pooler, and I look forward to seeing you all at the annual general meeting on February 15th, next month in Regina. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I will stop sharing the presentation right now, and I'll check the email to see if there's any questions from the floor. It looks like we have a comment from chat. Well done, from Dave Smith.
Thanks, Dave.
I'll check the email to see if anything came into that COM mailbox while we were talking. Seeing nothing. Anybody on the call have questions they'd like to put forward at this time?
Ed, it's Dave here. Am I audible?
You are.
Okay, great.